Well, hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday and happy International Women's Day. I'm so excited to be here with you today for an episode of Real Lessons. This is an opportunity for us to talk about some of the challenges that we might have in life that are preventing us from moving forward. So I'm really excited about my guest today. I have Ravit Lonstein with me, and we actually got connected through V Team, which is a networking group. And we have weekly meetings. We network and just find out all kinds of great things about the people that we're connected to in terms of building up our skills to help us to build better relationships. So we got together on a call, and the rest is history. We are now here today to talk about some of the struggles that keep us from moving forward. So, without further ado, I want to introduce Ravit to everyone. Hey, Ravit, how are you?
Hi, good. Hi, everybody. How are you? How are you? Beautiful.
Awesome. Well, it's happy International Women's Day to you. I want to say that first and foremost. How's your day been?
Good, good. Very productive. Yeah, very busy.
Awesome. Well, tell everybody a little bit about you before we get into some strategies, hacks. I don't know what everybody feels they want to call it, but some secret sauce so we can help people live better lives when it comes to health and wealth. So go ahead and take it away.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be here. My name is Ravit Lonstein, and I basically help people with their financial situation, make them in better financial shape than when we found them. I'm located in Los Angeles. We service all 50 states in Canada, and yeah, it's just been a lot of fun. I just love Lachelle, and it's always a pleasure to be with you on.
Well, I am so glad you could join me. And you know what? I didn't even introduce myself. I
Yes.
just got right. You know what? And I'm not thinking that I'm bigger than what I am, but that's just
What you are.
so busy thinking about the guests and about what we're going to be talking about. I forgot. So I am America's supermom, mother of 15 children. So that's probably why I forgot what I was doing, right? Trying to keep it straight. But I am so excited to always talk about mental wellness. So today we're going to be talking about our health and wellness and wealth. So we're going to start with thinking about what are some beliefs that we might have that prevent us from changing the narrative on how life has been for us. So I know you probably run into this a lot, Ravit, when you're helping people with finances. So what are the top, let's just say one, because we like to talk and
Yes.
we got other stuff going on. We just trying to just to give everybody a brief overview of some of these things. So what is one thing that really stops a lot of people with moving forward with their wealth story?
I think a lot of people, some have been burnt before and some haven't, right? So it's a trust
Mhm,
factor first. It's all about like, can I trust the person I'm talking to? And, because they're dealing with my money, right?
mhm,
And then it's like, and then the other thing is also, am I, am I really looking at the situation the way it really is? Am I still in the same position I was a year ago, 2 years ago? You know what I mean?
mhm.
Whatever that is. It's like, and do I decide that I want to move forward, that I want to get out of debt, or I want to build wealth, or whatever it is? You know what I mean? So, yeah.
I think that's a good one because, I know when I'm dealing with mental wellness with people, part of that is really changing the narrative on a lot of things that we might have told ourselves. And it is hard to trust people with quote unquote the secrets that you try to keep from everybody else. I know I used to really live behind a mask for every different situation before we even had to wear them, right?
Yeah.
And that was hard for me to trust people, to really kind of, believe that they really wanted what was best for me. So when it comes to people that don't trust, what are some things that you do to kind of put them at ease? Or, how do you build that trust when it comes to money management?
It's really easy for me because I'm very outgoing. I've
Mm-hmm.
been burnt before, so, but I
Mm-hmm.
just basically establish, we're really here to provide value. That's really
Mm-hmm.
the truth. We're here to do what's good for the client. So I basically build a relationship with them. I talk to them for a while, even nothing to do with this, you know what I mean? Just to kind
Mm-hmm.
of like make them feel comfortable with me. And then I
Mm-hmm.
also can show them, hey, I work with these huge companies, and you know what I mean? And the thing that I've done as a mistake, because I've been burnt before by a financial advisor, I gave the check directly to him on with his name. And with us,
Oh.
it goes directly to the product provider, whatever they end up doing, it'll go directly to the
Mm.
company. So there is no check by, writing my name on it or stuff like that. But it's really easy. I think that once, we break that wall, we get in, communication and whatever, and people really feel comfortable because they know I've been doing this for a long time. They can contact people that I've worked with, and they see that I'm just really different because I do go above and beyond than everybody else. I give them the time. I never do the appointment. I never do business on the first appointment anyway. And we just like
Mm.
talk and listen, everybody's needs are different.
Mhm.
One person might have completely different needs than what I would, or your needs, or whoever, right? So
Mhm.
we want to really make sure we handle exactly what are the concerns, what are the needs. And the other thing too, how do we get them to be in a better situation than they are now? How is
Mhm.
their budgeting going on? What are they
Mhm.
actually saving? What is their picture look like? Do they need to save for college? Do they
Mhm.
need to whatever it is, protect themselves, whatever that may be, and whatever the concern is. A lot of people are literally drowning in debt. It's one of those things, or have student loans, and they're in this vicious rat race, right? It's like this
Mhm.
cycle. The first thing, it's funny, when I went to UC Santa Barbara, the first thing they gave me was, hey, do you want to, sign up for a credit card? You get some stupid little bottle or some gadget, right? It's like
Mhm.
you're 20, you're like 18, you're like, yeah, I want the bottle. So you go and you do that, and then at the end they don't even tell you that you're going to be paying 25 to 30%. So when
Right.
you're looking at that, so it's just a matter of like financial education and really figuring out where is the situation and what the situation is now and where you're going, but
Love that.
yeah.
Now, so you mentioned a lot when it comes to communicating and everybody being different. And I think a lot of people, whether it's a coach like myself or, you being a financial advisor, how do you actively listen? Because I think a lot of people have so much tunnel vision about the value that they provide to people, but they don't really take time to figure out this person's needs are a little different. Everybody's package isn't the same, but they never really get to that point because there's a disconnect there. So how do you really practice active listening to do that diagnosis and determine the differences between your clients?
Yeah, well, I think the first thing is like I said, some people have been burnt before, so
Mhm.
sometimes they just kind of want to vent. They just want to get it
Mm.
out. Because if they don't, in a way, if you think about it, if you don't talk about that, you really
Mhm.
can't move forward, right? Because you have
Mhm.
like this weight behind you, it's pulling you down.
Mhm.
So the first thing I do is literally ask him some questions and basically just be quiet and let them talk, and they're the
Mhm.
only person there. I don't
Mhm.
get distracted or whatever. They're just like, I'm just there with them. Like,
Mhm.
sometimes it's personal, sometimes it's on Zoom. I'm really there for them, listening and listening to, and then I make sure that, when I repeat kind of like what they said, that I got it correctly. So they know that I'm listening because I can't miss that.
Love
And
that.
yeah, but I just they're my world in that moment because I'm really there to make sure that nothing, bad happens from this day forward. And we actually help them in whatever way we possibly can and just provide value to them. And,
Mhm.
and it's not all about the sale or the this or the that. It's about the help. It's about helping them now and becoming like friends for life kind of thing. We're not
Mhm.
into like, okay, that's a quick thing and that's it. But if they love us so much, they refer a bunch of people to us anyway because they never had anybody sit with them to actually ask them, hey, what do you have in place? Do you need help with anything? Nobody does that out there. So it's kind of like were it. So I think even nobody even knew what financial education really means, because we all go to college, we all learn all this stuff, and there's nothing about financial education in college, right? You might take a
Right.
statistics class or something like that. And there's no like, how do you balance a checkbook? How do you, you know what I mean? How do you budget? How do you keep track of how much money is going in, how much money is going out, right? Like simple things like that. I had this
Mm-hmm.
one person that I spoke to, and she said, you know, that I started working, I didn't even know I'm supposed to set aside 25% for taxes. Like
Mm-hmm.
people don't know. They start a
Mm-hmm.
job and they just don't know. So there's no like, unfortunately there's no manual, there's like nothing that says anything. So that's what really we're here for, to help them where they are, and to, you know, to really listen to their concerns, because they have valid concerns, whatever that is, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
to kind of reassure them that, well, that's good, that's over, or if it's still going on, okay, good, let's see how we can help you really get out of this much quicker, so you're going to be set up for your future.
I love that. And so, when we talk about value, because that's something that you mentioned as well, is understanding what the benefits are for your client. How do you determine how much value to give them? Because there's a lot of things going around now where it's free this, free that, all this content. And I just noticed, just with myself personally on some things and people that I'm connected to,
Mhm.
sometimes free is just a distraction. You're getting all this free stuff, but then you never really take uh, time to implement any of the information or things like that. So, how do you determine what value to give, and, how to do that in a healthy manner? Because I think a lot of people, we feel bad about the economy because of COVID, and, we just don't know where to stop the charity and go with the having a commission or any kind of fee associated to what we do.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing is that we personally don't charge for the financial plan, but it doesn't mean
Mm-hmm.
that they're not going to actually have to pay for whatever they need, whatever they need, right? Like through the product provider. That's fine. A lot of, I mean, we depends on what they end up doing. Some things have fees, some things don't. It just depends. But the point is that there is we kind of like, because we do such a great job, we also like get a ton of referrals in exchange, right? So just
Mm-hmm.
because we don't charge, our time is very valuable, and we still, you know, we're here to really provide value, but we're not going to expect somebody to do something about their financial plan unless they really want to, right? So
Mm-hmm.
they have to be serious about changing their situation to some degree, because otherwise it's a waste of my time, it's a waste of their time, you know what I'm saying? But they need to really realize that this is it. You know, it's kind of like going to gym and then starting and stopping and starting and stopping and then just completely stopping, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it might be uncomfortable in the beginning, you know, in terms of like savings or whatever. There, it might be hard to look at the financial situation, right? It might be like, oh my
Mm-hmm.
gosh, I can't even confront it. Okay, and I totally understand that. But the thing is this, it's the same situation. If you go to the gym the first time and then it hurts and it's like painful and you're like, oh my God. But the second day is like the worst, right? Are you not going to change your, you know, if you want to lose weight, or you want to change your the way your body looks, or you want to get more muscle, whatever that thing is, are you going to stop because it hurts you a little bit in the beginning, or are you
Mm-hmm.
going to have that vision that this is where you want to go and this is what you want to look like, and you're just going to persevere and basically get to that point? It's the same thing. If you,
I love that.
you know what I mean? You have to put in
Mm-hmm.
the time and the effort to get to where you want to go, because obviously until now, if you're still the same weight, if you still look the same, if you still feel whatever you feel about yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you're basically at the same point you've been for years, right? Unless something
Mm-hmm.
changed.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't take that step forward and decide and really take action and do something about it, we all know that nothing's going to change.
Exactly. I
You know?
love that. So, I mean, this has been a great conversation. I really love the fact that, we really have to face a lot of these challenges head on. Nothing is going to change if we don't change. And sometimes admitting some of the areas where we're falling short is the first step. I know in my own journey, when it came to, understanding my whole history with depression, I was hospitalized. I had to really confront the fact that, I really had to take accountability for the things that I did or didn't do. And I had to fix some of the problems that I had, from people pleasing to not having boundaries, no self care, and the list goes on and on. And so I love the way that, it's all about really having that awareness and learning to trust the process of transformation and change and trust the people that come to us along the path. So I guess, my last question, because it is International Women's Day, what are some lessons, maybe if you could share three, that you had to learn, overcome, or strategies that you would like to share with other women? Because, we've had so many things that have changed for us, and this is a big day to really recognize that. So, whether it's obstacles you had to come over or just whatever, three things that you would like to share, because I think it's so important for us as women to pour back into each other,
Yes.
to really teach one another. And I love that we're having this conversation because even collaboration, when I was on my journey, just coming from a history of being a high performer, I really didn't know how to collaborate. It was more competition.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that we could work together, afraid somebody's going to steal your contacts. So, I mean, whatever we could say, right? And
Yes.
so to come together and have this conversation for me is a game changer. So,
That's
three
amazing.
tips or whatever you feel led to share for other women on this International Women's Day.
Okay, well, awesome. First of all, we appreciate you. You're amazing. And 15 kids, I'm still with my mouth open like this. I have four and they're amazing, but I don't know. I don't see how I could even get to that number. But that's amazing. I admire you. So it's
Thank
funny.
you.
I just want to say with women, we put other people in front of us, okay?
Mm,
You know what I mean? It's always like
mm-hmm,
taking care of kids, taking care of parents, taking care of somebody else, friends, whatever. It like, if somebody calls you up immediately, you'll be like, yeah, of course I'm going to do that.
mm-hmm.
But have you really exercised yet? Have you taken time for yourself at all? Like, we're just that kind of people. We give first. That's just how we
Yeah,
are. You know what I mean?
yeah,
We
uh-huh,
juggle 50 million things. I mean, always in the air, right? There's always
yeah,
fires to put out, right? And things
mm-hmm,
happening and whatever else, and it's a little bit different. I mean, obviously, men are great and all that, but they're different in terms of like the stuff that they handle versus us. And it's just that we're like always fast paced. It's just the way it is. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
And I do believe that part of like, you know, appreciating yourself as well too. There has to be a point where you need to take a few minutes and just kind of appreciate yourself, because again, like if you can't have that mask on you on the plane first, right, and
Mhm.
then give it to your kids, then who's going to take care of who? You're the
Right.
center of the attention. You're the one that holds the family together. You're the ones that gets a lot of that stuff done and reminds the whole family of what's going on.
Mhm. Mhm.
But if you know what I'm saying, so it's important that you are okay with you.
So true.
And then comes everybody else. It's almost like
Mhm.
if you think about an onion, you're like in the bottom and everybody is on top of, it's the layers above you, right?
Mhm.
So that's
Mhm.
why it's so important, and you're the easiest person to just leave behind, you
Mm.
and
Mhm.
it's crazy. It's like, and the thing is, you have to realize that you are extremely important, and you are completely worth it, and you deserve everything in the world, and you should never undermine yourself, because we are easy to do that to ourselves. We're easy to say you're not good enough, or you're not whatever those little voices are in your head, right? And you're
So
like,
true.
no, that's not okay. I
Mhm.
am good enough. I am great. And you have to kind of remind yourself that you are. And just because
Mhm.
maybe you don't look a certain way that you want to, or whatever it is, or you don't make as much money as your husband, or you're a stay-at-home mom, or whatever that is. If you have some kind of an idea like, oh my gosh, I should be like him, or I should, don't put yourself down. You're doing
Mhm.
such a huge job anyway. Literally, if you
Mhm.
were getting paid as a housewife or a mom or whatever, you're worth millions. I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
I
So,
love that.
I know I'm coming funny enough talking about being, in this field, in the financial field. Like, besides our company, women are completely getting paid less than men.
Mm.
That the thing I love about our company is like we're the number one broker dealer that is leading in women.
Wow.
Completely equal.
That's
Whatever
great.
race, whatever color, whatever sex, you're equal. So I love
That's
that
awesome.
because when you look at the financial play, it's like mostly, white middle-aged men, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
60s, whatever. So it's funny because I'm a woman and I was in real estate before and I do all that and then whatever. And I just like, for me, equality is so important because
Yeah.
why? A lot of times we do so much anyway, plus we work, plus we do everything else. So why shouldn't we get paid the same? We deserve the same. You know what I
So
mean?
true.
And it's
Yeah.
just, and it's all about like, but I think that the main issue is the mindset about
Mhm.
being worth it, being valuable, and being beautiful the way you are.
Mhm. I love
Instead,
that. I love that, and I think one of the things, even for, many of us to admit the desire for everything to be equal, that's a mindset.
yeah.
Because not everybody shares that sentiment, but there's certain ways that you respect people, that you value their contributions when you come from that belief system, and so that really is a good point that you bring that up. And I think, it's a choice, to believe that way. I think part of it just I found in my own journey is you cannot reinvent the wheel with other people. You
Yes.
can't control what they do. However, there's a language that is shared with people that have the same mindset. And a lot of times, if you listen and ask enough questions, you kind of have a good discernment to understand, is this person on the same page as me or not? And I think one of the things that has been somewhat of a blessing during this pandemic is we've been able to pause enough to really hear what people are saying. A lot of the distractions have been eliminated so that we can have some of these conscious conversations and really move the ball forward. Because, when we were all in that hustle and bustle, getting to work and then the kids having after school and all these different things, so many distractions. But when we had to pause and really kind of get clear and still, that gave us the opportunity to kind of eliminate some of those distractions.
Yeah, it's so true. And
Mhm.
and I think that people go through their own struggles, if it's
Mhm.
financial, whatever, a lot of financial could be, it's like if you have a lot of money, that's great and you can max out on that. But if you don't, then it's the people like literally one paycheck away from, going off the cliff, from getting divorced. Like,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? It's like it's just people just need somebody to care about them and listen to them. You know what I mean? And half the time
Mhm.
it's just about whatever's going on in their life, or they lost a loved one, or whatever that may be. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's almost like just be human, just be
Yeah.
there for people, care about people, do something nice for somebody. You know what I mean? And just hear people out. They just want to feel loved. They just want to feel that people care about them. You know what I mean? And it's just
Mhm.
and we should all be doing that, just and it's funny when people get so like wrapped up about themselves and whatever. I always say, hey, go do something nice for somebody else, because it's
Mhm.
so true. It's like it does get the attention off of yourself, and then you basically just do, I don't know, make a phone call, I don't know, call somebody and just say hi, or tell somebody you care about them, or it doesn't matter what it is, but just if you once you it's like once you help somebody else, you'll see that your problems don't seem to be so big anymore, or
I love that.
the attention will come off of that because yeah, it's just, and it's a nice thing to do. I mean, I'd love to be able to give back and do a lot with nonprofits and stuff like that, because people really need people and people need
Mhm.
help.
So true. Now, so what is the best way for everybody to get a hold of you?
They can email me, they can call me. You know what I'm saying? My
Mhm.
email is rlfinancialguru at
Mhm.
gmail.com, so they can get a hold of me there. Yeah, and then I would love to sit down and talk to them and, see if we can do something. Obviously, if somebody is completely set up, which is very rare, fine, that's fine. But but if not, we could even do that with the person that's all set up. But that's totally fine. I'm willing to take a look and see where I can help. Again, I'm here to provide value and yeah, to put people. I mean, listen, one family at a time, you know,
Yeah,
and that will lead to a country being completely in a different financial shape than it is.
love that.
You know.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Ravit, for joining us today. And I think, one of the things that I enjoy about these kind of conversations is it doesn't take a lot. It doesn't have to be a master class with a whole bunch of strategies because I was in a presentation before and, they had all these great ideas. And so the presenter, someone asked, well, how do we know which strategy, is best, depending on what we have going on. And she said, to be honest, it's the one that you're going to use. So a lot of times we get all this information, but we still don't take action. So when we break it down, a lot of times we have the ability, the small motivation to take some action and then kind of tweak it along the way for what feels comfortable for us. So I appreciate the things that, you really highlighted about how we communicate to people and, really being able to express ourselves and having that trust that is really important when it comes to building relationships to where, we build client bridges, so to
Mhm,
speak, so
mhm.
that they can end up being on the page of where they want to go. So, looking forward to more conversations like this because I think this is really a very good way to kind of tackle some of those hard topics. I know as women, a lot of times we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, as you mentioned earlier, to feel like we have to be involved in everybody's life and what they have going on in order to support them. But sometimes we forget about ourselves in the process. So, thanks again for joining us.
Thank you, and happy International Women's Day. Give
Well,
give
thank
women hugs everywhere.
I absolutely, I love that. Well, we want to thank you guys so much for joining us. And if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments. You can reach out to Ravit in the tags that she said earlier. But we just really appreciate you spending time and realizing that, it doesn't take long, drawn out things in order for us to begin to change things in our life. It's a conversation, it's asking questions, it's really going at a pace that we're able to be consistent, regardless of the motivation we have or don't have. So, we want to thank you guys for watching us and stay tuned because we do plan on coming back and connecting again to highlight some of these things when it comes to health and wealth in our life and understanding that we can choose and empower ourselves to make better decisions. So, with that being said, we want to thank you again for watching with us. Share this video if you got any value, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye for now.
Thank you.